and just be happy that you have what you have. You know, it's a wonderful thing to realize. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for everything you do, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll keep plugging away.
Joe, thank you so much for calling in. And we have a caller waiting on the line, but Ed, is it okay if we go to our first break? And we'll take a caller that's waiting on the line. And stay tuned with Moments of Clarity. We'll be back in just one moment.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. I am Tiffany Werner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're talking about the power of travel, especially with young youth, and cultural diversity, and witnessing and expanding their understanding through witnessing compassion and history up front and personal, not just learning it in the classroom. And with me today is a special guest. He's a middle school teacher in the area, and he dedicates a lot of his free time, or most of his free time, planning trips that are educational and life-altering for children. And welcome back, Timothy Wert.
Thank you for having me here.
And so that kind of sums up, but right before we went on the break, we had caller Grant.
Yes.
Hi, Grant. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Welcome. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. I just love this show.
Grant Thomas is a friend of mine. He's a colonel from the Army, retired.
Oh, very nice.
And
retired.
Yeah. So, what enticed this beautiful surprise?
Well, what enticed it was, number one, I love your show. Number two,
Oh, thanks, Grant. You get a bell for that. I know you like the bell.
Yeah, I like the bell, and I really enjoy the feedback that I get when I call in. So, what I wanted to ask the guest,
Mr. Wert,
Tiffany. Say again.
Mr. Wert, my guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask was, okay, yes, I believe in family travel. I love learning. That's how I learned about the world when I was a child. I traveled everywhere because my dad did the same thing I did. He was in the military. And but my problem right now is I have a 21-year-old daughter that I'd love to take on a trip with me, but every time not every time, that's an over-exaggeration, but many times when we travel, it doesn't turn out good. She's got a mental health illness, and my patience, I run out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I thought it'd be a great idea to take her on a trip to Spain to walk across Spain for El Camino de Santiago. I did it before, and I want to do it again. And I invited her, and she said she got all excited about it.
Didn't you do it with some Army buddies last time? Go hiking?
No, I did that. That was over at Outward Bound in California. I did.
Okay.
I went to Joshua Tree. And
All I can think of is U2 when people say that. But,
you too.
The band.
I went up to a different Cascades prior to that. But anyway, what I wanted to ask the guest and you, Tiffany, is, okay, so is it better in a situation like that to wait until she's more stable or I'm more able to handle the stress of dealing with mental illness? Or is it better to take the child, I mean, yeah, she's 21, but take her with me knowing the risk, because I'm afraid that it's going to, turn into a negative experience.
I know the feeling 100%. I have one of those too, just not 21 years old, a couple of them. No, but I find whenever I get my kids out of their hometown, they are usually on their best behavior.
Yeah, I've experienced the same thing. Like when
they're on vacation, they're happy, they're absorbing everything. They don't have time to bicker and ruin it. Usually.
Yeah. And usually, the more structured the trip is, the better it is as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're just going to go and just travel across the country somewhere without a plan or an organized structure, things tend to fall apart a little bit more. But if there's organization to it and there's a plan, then everything seems to fall in place better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But my kids are a little younger than yours, Grant. Yeah, so they're always on their best behavior because they usually want souvenirs or want something, or they're excited to go somewhere too, or see something on the. But it doesn't always work like that. But generally, I've witnessed that. But what Mr. Wert does is he takes care of that and exposes the children to other cultures, and you don't have to be there. So if they start pulling a stink or an attitude, he has to handle it, not us.
Right. And, it's...
Not who? The parents?
Not the parents. He takes them as a guided teacher with chaperones, and then the parents don't have to go if they don't want to. And the child still gets to witness the world. That's what he's doing. He's trying to explain what he's doing, and then he has some GoFundMe accounts and things for kids, and we have so many kids that can't afford to go, or their parents won't ever take them anywhere. And so he plans structured educational trips and takes the children to go help, and see other countries that aren't as benefit or as privileged as we are, or that has a lot of history to what Shakespeare and the pyramids and. Yeah, he teaches about it in the club, and then they go see it, and so that kind of stuff.
We have a trip coming up to Italy and Greece in 40 days, and what the students do is they come up with like a research question, and what they do is they study that research question the entire time we're in that country, coming up with video journals and video blogs and stuff like that, and then when we get back to the country, they put together an entire report, a video report, based on their research question, and they submit it, and they get high school or college credits for whichever one.
Right, and they get credits for college or high school as well for going.
These are very structured.
What's the age requirement?
There is technically no age requirement. I mean, we don't want to take anyone younger than middle school, but adults can go on the trip as well. I tell adults they can go on the trip.
If I get my daughter, that would be a good way to break her into something like this.
Maybe she could be a chaperone.
Available for this?
Not for Italy and Greece, but we do have other upcoming trips that we are working on right now. We have a trip to...
Okay.
We have a trip next spring break that we're doing for London. We're going to do a whole Shakespearean tour of England. We have another trip to the Galapagos Islands next summer. The year after that, we're going to Egypt. The year after that, we're going to Antarctica. And we're also going to Costa Rica.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of stuff going on.
Would you mind posting that link on
this
Facebook page?
Of course. We'll give all the information on Facebook Live and at the end of the show.
Okay, thank you very much.
He's like, that's great. I'm going to send her with you.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
I don't have to worry about fighting with her, but I really want her to see the world. We'll put her on you.
Yeah. Well, the students tend to listen to me, so.
She'll behave. She'll enjoy that.
But she's kind of an adult. Maybe she could go as a chaperone.
Yeah, absolutely.
They still have to pay, but chaperones are welcome as well. But thank you, Grant, and I'll share the information for sure. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah.
That's great feedback.
Yeah, and I hope my daughter's not listening. If you are, I mean,
I don't think she
not
listens to
about
the show. I know your daughter.
Okay. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
You too. Bye, Grant.
Bye.
One of the comments on Facebook Live is, I'm a sex abuse survivor and wondering if you have anyone else as a chaperone taking a Darkness to Light program to help learn what to look for.
No.
So is there any... Okay, so... And that's a good question, because trusting your children with someone
Right.
and then out of the country, of course.
Right.
With the world that as it is today and how common abuse is and human trafficking and all that stuff. What kind of precautions do you take to make sure that our children are safe when they go traveling out of our sight, out of our borders for that matter too?
Okay, so it's not just me. There's other chaperones, adult chaperones that go on the trip as well. We also have a 24-hour tour guide that's with us. Whichever country we're in, we have a different tour guide for each country. We also have local guides that are with us 24 hours. So like when we're in, say, Rome, we'll have a tour guide that stays with us in Rome and a regular tour guide that's with us in Italy. We also have chaperones because the company we're going with has been in business for over 60 years. So they have chaperones that go with that come in from those countries to help us as well. And we're not going by ourselves. Other schools will participate with us as well. So the larger the group is, the more protection we have as a whole. And we don't break apart from each other. We stay together as a group.
So no one's left alone with somebody odd at any moment?
No.
That's very important, too.
Yeah, and my students know that the ones that are going with to Italy and Greece, they know I've already explained to them that when we do have free time, we will stay together. We will not be going in different places. We'll stay as a group, So my students are aware
Maybe
of my rules.
give them another course in education on stranger danger and just what to look for and what to not do, and just that kind of to make sure that none of that happens.
Yeah, and when we did our training, we talked about what happens if we do get separated, what we're expected to do, how the kids are expected to learn. Right.
Precautions.
Yeah, they specifically took us on the metro in Madrid to teach us what it was like to experience such hecticness, and if we were to get separated from the kids, and what to do. So they're very, very safety-oriented group. So I'm confident. I have my own child's going with, so I'm confident that everything will be just fine, and that if we work together as a group and a team, everyone will be safe. And they've never lost anybody; nothing's ever happened. So, and like I said, this group's been together for over 60 years. So, safety is their number one concern.
It's good that they never lost anybody.
Yeah, right.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm sure that there's a lot of precautions in place, but being a mental health show, we want to make sure that all of those,
yes, and all the
concepts
adults
are considered as well.
All the adults
and that's
that go
a great question, Brian Cardoza. Thank you for commenting.
All the adults that go on the trip also have background checks done, so you can't just...
I was just about to ask that.
Yes, all the
It's
adults,
not just anybody.
That's correct.
They all have to be accredited and make sure that there's no criminal background or sex offender.
Correct. All that is done, all the trips before we leave on the trip. So, and they've all been done already for this trip that's coming up.
Brian also mentioned on Facebook, Darkness to Light is a free class. I would suggest it for more education. Brian, if you want to call in 866-826-1340 and let us know exactly what that class is and how we could pass that along, that would be great. 866-826-1340. And I have another caller waiting, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. Hey, Kirk. Welcome to Moments of Clarity.
Hi there. I wanted to call in Timothy. I really like what you're doing.
Thank you.
I myself teach privately and have a bunch of students, and I'm married to a Filipina. So one thing that...
A beautiful one. Kirk Miller co-hosts my other
delightful
show, Beyond Clarity, with me, and is on the admin team of this Moments of Clarity as well.
Yeah.
So we go way back.
Nice.
But he does. He teaches violin to special needs kids. He's a teacher as well, and he travels a lot. So
okay.
Well, I did want to say, there's a couple of things I heard. One was with, anytime you worry about sexual abuse or violence or anything like that, it's important to remember that we can find that in this country. It happens everywhere. So as long as the proper precautions are taken, and it sounds like you're doing all the right things, and that that children are very smart, and as long as they are aware of some of the dangers, I mean, they need